believe cheating can be forgiven. And I know that sentence alone is going to upset some people. Some people will immediately agree with me. Some people will immediately disagree. That's okay. I'm not here to convince you I'm right. Just want to tell you about the man who taught me this. Because by the end of an 8-hour flight, he said 4 words I have never forgotten. Let me take you back. You know, when you work on a plane, there's something that happens. You get assigned a jump seat next to someone, and for the next 7-8 hours, that person becomes your entire world. You can't leave, you can't call someone, you can't walk away when it gets uncomfortable. It's just you, them, and the sound of the engines. Most flights are small talk. How many sectors are you doing this week? Do you want to swap your Vienna flight for my Paris? Nothing memorable. But every now and then, someone gives you a glimpse into a part of their life they never planned on sharing. This was one of those times. We were flying Doha to London, long haul, closer to 8 hours because of the winds that day. Boarding, safety checks, greetings, cabin settling, and then, somewhere after the seatbelt sign turned off, I noticed him. He was a colleague, not a friend. We knew each other's names, that was it. But that night, something wasn't right. No emergency, no argument, nothing dramatic had happened. He just looked like someone carrying something too heavy to hold. Okay, service started. Like always, we put on that professional face. I call it the mask. Smile, greeted, poured drinks. Well, passengers don't really need to know what's happening behind the curtain. But every time we returned to our jump seats, his mask would disappear. Shoulders down, eyes filling, and quietly, like he was trying to hide it from himself. He'd start crying. Not loud, just tears from someone trying desperately to hold it together. I told myself maybe he's just tired, maybe it's a hard roster. But after watching it happen again and again, I leaned over and asked quietly, "Are you okay?" He didn't answer right away. He just stared forward like he was fighting something inside himself. Then he started talking. So he brought his boyfriend to Doha, an Italian guy who flew in just to see him. For a few days, it was everything you'd hope. Together, happy, making memories. Then, mid-trip, he got called out for a flight. Rome. Maybe Madrid. Honestly, after all these years, I can't remember. What I remember is he had to leave his boyfriend alone in a city he did not know, a language he did not speak, with nobody else there. So he did what people do when they love someone and can't be there. Called his best friend, asked him to look after his boyfriend, show him around, keep him company. It sounds like a kind thing to do. And then he told me the part that changed everything. And while he was gone, his best friend and his boyfriend slept together. I remember exactly where we were when he said it. Heart still out, passengers still awake, and somehow the entire cabin went quiet around us. I remember thinking, don't let your face change. Don't let him see how much that just hit you. So he found out. I don't remember how anymore. A message, a confession, something that slipped. That detail's gone. But I remember his reaction. At first, he said it like he was reading facts off a page. Like he'd already cried himself empty before this conversation. And something broke. The tears came back. And he said the same 4 words over and over. I can't lose them both. I can't lose them both. Not I'm angry, not how could they do this, just I can't lose them both. And that was the saddest part to me. Not just that he'd been betrayed, but that even after being hurt, he was still more afraid of losing them than he was angry at what they'd done. No boyfriend, no best friend, just him. Alone at 35,000 feet, on his way to a city that had nothing to do with the heartache or the heartbreak he was carrying. I sat with that for a while. I didn't know what to say. I still don't think there's a perfect thing to say to someone in that kind of pain. But watching him fall apart beside me, something came out. Like, not an advice, really, just what my heart felt in that second. I told them, stop thinking about what they need. Stop trying to protect their feelings. Stop trying to figure out what's fair to them. For one moment, forget both of them. What do you want? What does your heart actually want? And for the first time that whole flight, he went quiet. Not shutting down quiet, kind where someone's finally listening to themselves. After a while, he looked at me and said, I want to stay with my boyfriend even after everything. And I said, and honestly, I was just speaking from my gut, not from anything I'd studied or knew for certain. Then stay. But stay because that's what your heart wants, not because you're afraid of being alone, not because you're afraid of what people will say. And if you choose to stay, I think you have to choose forgiveness too. Not the kind where you say, I forgive you today, and then use this pain as a weapon in an argument 5 years from now. To me, that isn't really forgiveness. That's just keeping the wound alive. Or maybe you use this to build something stronger. Or maybe if you know deep down you can't get there, let him go. Honestly. But whichever it is, make your choice, not the one people expect, not the one that looks right from the outside. Yours. But then I told him one more thing. And this is a part I still go back and forth on even now. I don't know if everyone will agree with me. Honestly, some days I'm not even sure I agree with myself. Told him, forgive your boyfriend if you can, but don't forgive your best friend. That's just how it felt to me, sitting there. Not a rule, not a rule. Just a boyfriend broke a promise of love. Best friend broke a promise of loyalty. And in that moment, those felt like two different kinds of wounds. His best friend wasn't just someone who happened to be there. He was someone trusted. Someone asked to look after the person he loved and chose not to. A boyfriend can make a terrible choice because people are complicated. Love is complicated. Desire is complicated. I'm not saying that excuses it. It doesn't. But a best friend, the one person who's supposed to be on your side, that one was harder for me to wrap my head around. Because his only job in that moment was simple. Be loyal. That conversation stayed with me. Decades actually. It's a big part of why I still believe cheating can be forgiven. I want to be really clear about something first though. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a relationship expert. I'm just someone who's had a lot of people tell me things for whatever reason. So take this as a personal belief, not a rule. I don't think cheating is okay. I don't think forgiveness is easy. Or that anyone owes forgiveness to someone who keeps hurting them. What I believe, for me, from what I've seen, is that forgiveness is a choice only the person who was hurt gets to make. Nobody else gets a vote. Not even me sitting next to him on a plane with an opinion. Now, I haven't personally been cheated on by a partner, so this isn't coming from that specific kind of heartbreak. But I've been betrayed by friends more than once. Well, you see, before I got married, my friends were my family. The people who knew the parts of me not everyone saw. So when a friend broke that trust, it hit somewhere different than romantic hurt ever did for me. Maybe that's just my own wiring, but it's probably why, sitting next to him that night, I understood exactly why losing both people felt impossible. One person represented love to him, the other represented loyalty. And for me, at least, those two things don't hurt the same. And they don't heal the same either. I still feel what I felt that night. The love and loyalty are different kinds of promises, broken in different ways. That hasn't really changed for me. What changed is how sure I am that I drew the line in the right place. Because both of them hurt him. Both of them broke his trust. And maybe all these years later, it's not as clean as I made it sound on the plane. Some of you might feel the best friend deserve forgiveness too. Some of you might feel neither of them did. Honestly, I get both because I don't think this is really about who deserves forgiveness. I think it's about whether the person who got hurt still believes there's something worth fighting for. So I never found out what happened to him. Whether he stayed, whether that friendship survived, whether years later he looks back and sees it differently. We probably became nothing more than, two co-workers who happened to share a flight or two. But that conversation never left me. So when I say cheating can be forgiven, I don't mean it's simple. And I definitely don't mean have it figured out. I mean, I watched someone choose it in real time and it looked less like a weakness and more like the hardest, most deliberate thing he'd ever done. The part I still sit with is whether that same forgiveness is possible for the other kind of betrayal. For someone whose only job was to protect you. I don't have an answer. I just have the question. And for the record, that flight wasn't the only time a stranger told me something they'd never told anyone else. It happens more than you think. But that's a story for another time. For now, I want to know what you think. If you were in his seat, who would be harder to forgive? Your partner or your best friend? Tell me why, and I promise to read every comment. I'm Z. This is Nobody Told Us, and I'll see you in the next one.